Say, kids, what time is it?
It's kind of like watching TV, but, in your car.
104.7 The Cave. Mike, the intern, in the studio once again with my good buddy, Jay Stevens. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. This week was Jay's pick. He went back in time about 11 years ago to a documentary called Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Exit Through the Gift Shop. And this was the documentary that kind of started my rabbit hole into documentary.
Really? This is the one that got you into it?
I watched this one. I had to rent the DVD from Netflix. So the Netflix had to send me.
Came in the mail and those envelopes.
This is before all the streaming. Yeah. It came out. I had heard about it because when I was living in LA, all that Life is Beautiful art show and stuff was going on. I remember passing it because I had a gig in Hollywood that I'd go to once a week, and I remember passing this whole thing, but I wasn't oblivious to what was going on and Banksy and all that. But later I heard about this documentary, and this is what started me when I go, wow, it started as one thing and it transformed into this whole other story. And that's what I love about documentaries when they do that.
It was kind of a lucky thing for the guy who made this movie because he was just some dude from France living in L.A.
Right place, right time.
And Banksy kind of got stuck here or came in here, didn't have anybody to help him, and so they kind of got
they buddied up a little bit, and he started to gain his trust, and then he became the guy to document it.
Banksy is the subject of this documentary, and if you do not know, he is a graffiti artist, essentially. All of his art pieces are done in public, on public areas. It could be the side of a building, could be a fence. The fence one is probably one of his most famous ones.
And no one knows who he is.
To this day, supposedly no one knows who he is. Now, there have been some theories as to who he is, and we'll get into those a little bit later. But the documentary, again, like Jay said, was it was circumstance. This guy, whoever Banksy is, was stranded in L.A., didn't know anybody, meets his filmmaker who had been running a vintage clothing shop. And basically, they hit it off, and Banksy's like, you know what, come back to England with me, and you can.
They would never let anybody film because of the secrecy.
Well, because he's essentially you're breaking the law.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's literally
it's
with counterfeiting and stuff, But this guy gained his trust, and he goes, all right, and then he thought to himself, you know what, it's probably a good idea that we document some of this because they never get to see the reactions. They do the art and they leave. They don't get to see what do people feel when they see the art. So this guy was documenting that. And so they really caught a side of it.
The reactions to seeing which one of the things he did in Skid Row, which I think was just awesome, was the Guantanamo Bay detainee doll in Disneyland.
Oh, in Disneyland,
I mean, he definitely has a message.
He does some great art. He even built that whole Dismal Land in Europe that one time for an art display. He's incredible,
It's a very, very, very crazy deal. And we're going to talk about who we think this guy is, some of the art he did.
And his art is very valuable.
That's part of this whole craziness.
And it's also not valuable. Well,
it depends on who you ask and what art
we'll get into that because there's another documentary that I watched that goes deeper into that as well. But
art is art, and we'll find out.
Art is art.
Just like we're making art. Dark Side of the Stream, 104.7 The Cave. 104.7 The Cave, Mike the intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio. It's Dark Side of the Stream. Today we are discussing Exit Through the Gift Shop. Now, Jay and I talked about when we picked this last week that I actually have a Banksy tattoo on my leg. Jay wanted me to show it.
Pull your pants down and show it.
So as always, we do this video on Facebook.
Always we're so professional with this camera angle.
I got to do this. Ooh,
wait, are we raping?
Okay, so this chick.
Where? The bomb holder. Yeah, that girl. Oh, gosh, you need some lotion, dog. I got some lotion in my bag.
The camera didn't really help very much, but I need to get some lotion. Sorry, Chaz. My tattoo guy's probably watching this.
So Banksy does this street art.
Lotion up, dude. You're destroying my work.
Banksy does this street art, and it's amazing. And now it's a big cultural phenomenon, and these pieces.
I got a tattoo of this stuff.
These pieces sell for a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Huge money for this guy's art. And like art that they'll peel off of buildings where he did it, and then they'll sell this piece.
Yes.
So much to the point where Banksy himself made some art to put in the gallery, and then when the person bought it for a huge amount of money, it self-destructed. Remember that video?
Yeah.
It self-destructed. It shredded itself. Everybody's like, what's going on? It was like, its art is like, it's got a very good sense of humor and very, he likes to get reactions and incredible stuff.
It's not about the money for him, I don't think.
Not at all.
But
the fame because he's anonymous.
The guy who made this documentary when they did the art show, he made almost $1 million just selling it. And I think that kind of pissed Banksy off a little bit.
Right.
This was kind of a weird thing.
Well, that's maybe what we should get to. The guy filming all the street art, he goes, man, this is great what all these street artists are doing. He goes, I want to do it. Long story short, this guy basically becomes a street artist and sells his work for millions of dollars. So then at the end, Banksy's like, so what is art? I mean, this guy comes along, nobody, and now he's a famous street artist. What is art and how much is it worth?
It's like my dad told me a long time ago when I was collecting baseball cards. You could say that's worth all you want to say it's worth, but until you get someone to pay for it, what you think it's worth, it's not worth anything.
Same with Bitcoin and digital currency.
Digital currency, records I own in my collection, baseball cards.
Yeah, a record that
shirt on my back.
Yeah, a record you pay $300 for, or somebody else I would not even want to buy it for $1.
Chet Baker box set I have, all cut from original master tapes. I think I paid $80 for it. It's worth almost $700 now.
Wow, that's
in the market. Incredible. My Tool Enema original press is worth almost $1,000.
And to prove a point,
one record, $1,000.
To prove a point, Banksy did a bunch of paintings, art, and they had a guy go on the street corner in New York and just set up a little stand. And was selling it.
Oh my God,
$10-$20, and these people were getting original Banksy arts, and they're like,
you can turn around and sell them for millions.
Yeah.
But again, it's in the eye of the beholder, and I think that's what Banksy was trying to do through this documentary was to prove that it's all BS. This whole thing is BS.
Yeah.
He's actually in it for the political message, what he's trying to do and what he's trying to get across. That's what I believe. It's
a great documentary, though.
Oh, God, it is. Because it is all BS. The whole machine is BS.
The way it goes from being one thing and to just morphs into this whole other thing. And there's rumors that the whole documentary is fake, too. And it's a Banksy piece of art.
Yeah, that's part of it, too. But again,
I don't know, man.
Van Gogh wasn't popular when he was alive. And then look how much all of this stuff's worth now.
You cut off your ear and look what happens.
Yeah, it's in the beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. It's Dark Side of the Stream. We're going to figure out who this guy is, or at least try to next on 104.7 The Cave. 104.7 The Cave, Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio, Dark Side of the Stream, episode number 59, discussing exit through the gift shop.
Where did you watch, or you watched it a long time ago only?
I saw it several times when it came out, because obviously I have the documentary.
I wanted to refresh my memory, so I literally watched it this week, but I had to rent it from Amazon for like $1.99. But I figured it's worth the cause.
I'm glad you did.
I'll spring the $2 for the cause because I wanted to refresh it. I mean, I watched this thing literally 10 years ago, at least.
Let's talk about this guy's identity. Now, obviously, he likes to remain anonymous because some of the stuff that he does is
heavy vandalism, heavy counterfeiting.
The biggest thought is that he is this guy named Robin Gunningham, and this was first brought up in 2008. This guy was and I guess several of his associates and former schoolmates at a school have collaborated in this, that he was into graffiti art, and they kind of, some of the stuff that he did kind of correlate where he was in the time and where he would be and all this stuff. And that, according to the Sunday Times, the man began employing the name Robert Banks after that, and then eventually it formed into Banksy. 2 cassette sleeves featuring his artwork from a band in Bristol actually have his signature, which match some of that stuff. So that could be him. Now, again, there also is the idea that 3D, Robert Del Naja, one of the guys in Massive Attack, is actually him.
Right. That's the one I've heard.
I've heard that one.
Because tour dates will correspond with where these things appear.
True. I've also heard that the artist for the Gorillaz that does all the artwork is him. I like that theory. Because it would make sense that this guy who doesn't really, he doesn't make I'm sure he's made some money off of what he's done. He's, how do you got to still feed yourself.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Here's the thing. He's making lots of money, and he has people that are the face of his operation, perhaps, like the dealers, art dealers.
Yeah.
He knows a lot of Shepard Fairey and a lot of these street artists that are friends. So it's amazing that he has been able to remain anonymous, being in that such a high profile artist, be financial. I mean, we're talking millions of dollars his operation makes. And when he puts on these like, hey, I went to New Orleans and did a bunch of art, go check it, go find it,
Or he'll tweet a picture and then they'll find it.
And people will go search the cities for his art.
Again, it's performance art.
A cultural phenomenon too.
Yeah. And way to be out of the box too. I mean, again, he could still get in trouble for defacing public property, but at the same time, it is what it is, and no one else is doing this, and everyone else that came after this is just copying what this guy started doing a long, long time ago. We will give our reviews of Exit Through Their Gift Shop and talk more about what we're going to watch next. Dark Side of the Stream on 104.7 The Cave. 104.7 The Cave. Mike the Intern, Jay Stevens back in the studio one more time to talk about Exit Through the Gift Shop, about Banksy. So how many graffiti tags would you give this?
I give this 5, man. It's
Straight
great.
up 5. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if this
and
is
like
what
I said, this is the one that started me on my path.
Like, you guys don't understand this. Like, I come in here at the beginning of the year, and I was like, bro, I started watching all these Kurosawa movies, these samurai movies. They're so bad. I don't watch movies. No. Jay doesn't like reading books.
No.
He doesn't like fiction.
Movies.
He doesn't watch. I mean, Star Wars. Yeah,
Mandalorian, whatever. I'll watch that.
Stuff like
Ozark,
that. But like he's not
documentaries, man.
You can't get this guy and say, "Hey, man, are you watching Only Murders in the Building?" I mean, he doesn't care. Doesn't care. That's just it. But documentaries, he loves it.
Like the girl said in the viral TikTok, nobody got time for that.
Yeah. Well, he does make time for documentaries. So
man.
If this was the one that got you into him,
this is it. This is the one that sent me. And if you want to go down a rabbit hole, Banksy, there's a bunch of documentaries about him and what he does and things that he's done. He built a fake theme park, this huge theme park with rides, Dismal Land. That's all on YouTube. Check it out. Go down the rabbit hole. It's some very cool stuff.
He's definitely a prolific artist and has done some very cool stuff.
And he's Mike's leg, too.
And I got a tattoo of the guy on my leg, too, which I need to lotion up. I'd probably about 4, because I remember when I really liked it when it came out. But it's, especially in that time period, the music I was listening to and the stuff I was into, it kind of coincides with that.
Smack my bitch up.
So, it's my turn. Do you have Discovery Plus?
No.
Damn.
It's all right. What is it?
I wanted to do that Chip and Dale's.
Oh, it's only on Discovery Plus?
Yeah, it's only on Discovery Plus. Let's do the Zappa. Let's do the Zappa
Where's
documentary
that
on Hulu.
On Hulu.
So it's called Zappa. It's on Hulu. If you want to know about one of the, speaking of prolific songwriters of all time, Frank Zappa definitely, you might not be into some of the stuff he did. It might weird you out. But
I just noticed, it looks like you are literally on top of the camera, and I'm way far away. And I don't even have my light on.
We didn't even turn the light on the whole time.
We got to do the whole thing again.
No. It's too late for that. Well, I'll tell you right now, I think you look great. Your homework assignment for next week, Dark Side of the Stream. Zappa on Hulu. As always, you can stream us on Facebook every Thursday at 9 a.m. and you can listen to these as a podcast on our 104.7 The Cave app. What is art? We don't know. We just play music, and we're here on 104.7 The Cave. See ya.